What's up guys, welcome back, as today we're taking a look at the Galaxy S21, the new flagship phone from Samsung, the smallest in the trio, as I guess there are a lot of you out there, including myself, that need a more compact and powerful phone. Does it have what it takes to make me switch from my 2-year-old S10? We'll find out after this review. Let's unbox it and see what we can actually find included with the new Galaxy line. Besides the phone, we only get the charging cable, so no charging adapter or wired headphones, as Samsung is pledging that this helps the environment by keeping the box size down, but we all know they are also reducing their costs with this strategy. The problem with the included cable is that it's only USB-C on both ends, so even though Samsung claims you already have a charger at home, it's not entirely true unless you have a last generation S20. All chargers all have USB-A ports, so you have to get a new charger anyway for an extra cost. It's the same strategy as in Apple's case, only iPhone 11 users being able to use the included cable for the iPhone 12. Moving on, we also don't really get much else in the box except the manual and the ejection pin, not even a clear case as some manufacturers like Xiaomi usually ship with their phones. So as you can see here, not much value for money, but maybe the phone is that good and it compensates for the lack of these accessories. Let's take a look at it. We have here the Phantom Grey color option. Samsung has changed the design of the camera bump again, this time making it part of the left frame. The size of the S21 is much the same with the old S20, a few millimeters wider and a little heavier. Even the screen size is also 6.2 inches, a 0.1 inch bigger than the one on my old S10. The big difference now is that it's a flat screen, so a plus from my point of view, as I have always considered the curved edges annoying and pretty useless. Samsung has finally returned to the flat screens from S6 and S7, which were really great phones at that time. The dynamic AMOLED screen with HDR+ is back from the S20, also with 120Hz and variable refresh rate, if only just down to 48Hz, so not that energy efficient as the older brother, the S21 Ultra. Compared to my old S10, which is also dynamic AMOLED with HDR+, the only real clear advantage I see here is the higher refresh rate, but is not something you can't live without. It is a nice to have, of course, but not a deal breaker. We need to mention also the resolution has dropped from 1440p to Full HD, not really noticeable but a downgrade nonetheless. While checking closely both of the phones side by side, we can see that the screen appears darker and more contrasty on the S21. Not really sure if this is a good thing though, I think it depends on how you prefer it. I kinda like more how the videos look on the S10. The phone comes with the latest Android 11 and One UI 3.1 on top. This is much the same with the S10 right now, as this one also has been upgraded to the latest Android version and the latest One UI. So, in terms of usability, until a new software version comes out, they are pretty much identical. The S21 has the new Exynos 2100, a 5nm processor which Samsung claims is as fast as the Snapdragon 888 variant. We are not going over the debate of which version is faster, as for the usual buyer this looks the same in terms of performance, maybe a little difference could be in the battery endurance. We are in fact going to test the speed between the S21 and the S10, so you can see for yourself if the actual difference in speed is tangible and worth the extra dollars. Stay tuned as I will have this comparison done in another video. Now moving on to the camera array. The cameras have remained the same with the last generation S20, only the bigger Ultra model has seen some major improvements. We have the usual 12 megapixel wide cam with optical image stabilization and dual pixel PDAF, a 64 megapixel telephoto cam with also OIS and 3x hybrid zoom, so no optical zoom here, and the 12 megapixel ultra wide camera with the super steady video feature. For the front of the phone we have the same 10 megapixel camera that hasn't been upgraded since the S10, which is by the way an excellent autofocus camera with super steady 4K video. There is some advanced software processing in play here, as the S21 does shoot better selfies. Comparing with the main cameras on the S10, you really only get the extra video feature to shoot in 8K 24fps, which is pretty useless right now as the quality is not that high, there is no stabilization so you will need a gimbal for actual video shooting, and 8K TVs or any screens are not yet mainstream. The S10 still has the variable aperture that helps in low light, but the extra processing power make the S20 and S21 a winner in these cases. In general, the cameras are comparable, same 20 megapixel worth of data, a true 2x optical zoom lens on the S10, and even a higher res 16 megapixel ultra wide cam with super steady video. Samsung has optimized the processing algorithm and we can see that the new generation offers a little more details when we zoom in. So only at 100% magnification we can see the little differences between the photos. But for posting on social media, there will be no visible difference. I will be doing a more in-depth photo and video comparison between the S21, the S20 FE and the S10. There is that little extra detail on the S21, but nothing major. For me, mainly as a videographer, the S20 and S21 Galaxy line offers really nothing to make me upgrade. I'm still waiting for Samsung to offer 4K at 120 FPS, and that will be the moment when I will make the switch to a new phone. I don't really understand why they don't already offer this feature, as the new processors support it, so it's not a hardware limitation anymore. The thing about this camera placement, also valid for the S20 generation, is that when placed on the table, the phone wobbles, while the S10 sits perfectly flat as it has a symmetric camera array. The other specifications include the same features as on the S20 and S10, like stereo speakers, water resistance, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5, GPS with all the satellites available for connection, NFC, USB 3 Type-C, Samsung DeX support and an ultrasonic under-display fingerprint sensor. This sensor has been upgraded with a bigger finger scanning area, so it performs a little faster than the old ones. In terms of connectivity, the new phone also offers 5G, of course, as the S20 line. But the S10 still has some advantage, as it still retains the audio jack port, and that is a huge advantage for people constantly on their headphones in calls, because when the battery is about to die, with S21 you have to close the call, as you cannot use the port and charge at the same time. Also, you cannot use an external microphone anymore in case you needed that. I have tested also the sound quality, and I can say that Samsung has improved on that front. The volume is the same, but compared to the S10, which has a lot of highs, the S21 produces a little more bass, so the sound is more balanced. The battery is the same as the one on the S20, a 4000 mAh with 25 watts fast charging. This is a good step up from the 3400 mAh and 15 watts charging speed on the S10. Now the phone can really last a full day under moderate to heavy use. Moving on to the downsides or omissions, or in fact the corners Samsung had to cut to make this phone $100 cheaper than the last year S20. First, we no longer have a microSD card slot. Secondly, the back is now made of plastic, glasstic as Samsung calls it, as it resembles glass. For me, this would not be a deal breaker and can be considered actually a plus, as I use cases with every phone, so I cannot see or touch the back anyways, and it also offers extra protection in case it falls, as there is no glass to break anymore. This is the same back that they have included in the S20 Fan Edition, and I will be comparing that from a performance point of view also with the S21 and S10. Then there is the lower screen resolution, the missing power adapter or headphones from the package, not to mention no other bonus accessories included. The launch price of the Galaxy S21 is $800, and it looks like a good deal when you compare it to last year's S20, which launched at around $1,000. It's also lower than the $900 price of the S10 from 2 years ago. Taking all of this into consideration, do you guys think the upgrade from S20 to the new S21 is worth it? What about coming from an S10 like me? After watching this review, you already know my personal opinion by now, but let me know what you think in the comments. Alright guys, now you know if this new flagship phone deserves your hard-earned money, or you can still stick to previous 2 generations for a while. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, let me know your thoughts on this by dropping a comment below. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.